A Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, or a letter of agreement can be helpful to establish commitment, accountability, and expectations. MOUs can be used for coalition leaders, members, partnerships with implementers, fiscal agents, data collection, or other actions that have been agreed upon. This is a sample of what a coalition participant's letter of agreement might look like. Having a sign-in sheet at meetings and a coalition roster, such as the sample on your screen, is also helpful to identify members, their roles, and their level of involvement. Having a simple role or job description is helpful to identify expectations and commitment. This could be used for leadership roles, committee leaders, implementers, or anyone in the coalition to help them understand their purpose. An organizational chart is also helpful, especially for new participants or members of the community that are not engaged in your work. Having a one-page visual of the organization can help tell the story of how the coalition works and where they could be involved. All of these elements that I have shared could be included in a welcome packet for orientation purposes or for new member potential or funders. As I stated earlier, capacity includes resources, like we have been talking about, and readiness of the community. This section will cover some ways to improve community readiness. Community readiness is the degree to which a community is willing and prepared to take action on a particular identified issue. It is the capacity of your community that will allow for implementing programs, policies, and other changes designed to reduce the likelihood of the identified issues. Knowing a community's readiness can help you identify where capacity needs improvement, gauges community attitudes, and serves as a catalyst for change. During the assessment phase of the SPIF, the coalition should have collected data by assessing the current level of community readiness. We recommend using the Triethnic Center's Community Readiness for Change interview model. This will provide a baseline that will help in planning actions to raise the level of readiness and maximize success for positive outcomes. The Triethnic Community Readiness Model was developed by researchers at the Triethnic Center for Prevention Research at Colorado State University. It is a set of open-ended survey questions about community members' and leaders' attitudes, knowledge, and beliefs about an issue. It is used to assess the readiness of the community to support implementing efforts to change behaviors. Remember, community readiness is the degree to which a community is willing and prepared to take action. If a community is not ready to address an issue, your efforts are less likely to succeed. By measuring the readiness level, actions can be taken to increase the readiness first, and interventions can be chosen to match the level of readiness and maximize success for positive outcomes. The final readiness score can be used to develop an action plan to increase the community's capacity and increase the likelihood for positive outcomes. Your community status with respect to each of the dimensions that interview questions will be asked forms the basis of the overall level of community readiness. There are 9 stages of readiness, as you can see on your screen. The lowest level of awareness, number 1, no awareness, to level 9, professionalism, and a high level of community ownership. You can identify actions to be taken to increase the community's capacity of readiness according to the data collected through this assessment. In the handbook that you will find online are definitions for each of the 9 levels, as well as suggested actions to be taken according to the measured level to increase readiness. Raising awareness can be an important part of developing community support for the work your coalition is doing. Increasing awareness Building support for your efforts and engaging others in your work can directly be enhanced with community awareness. When thinking about increasing community awareness, consider utilizing both stakeholders and community members. Important champions for prevention may be found in unexpected places, such as local media, the legislature, parents and grandparents, faith or business communities, or others. When thinking about how to improve readiness, ask yourself, what information would a stakeholder need to know to increase their awareness and knowledge about the issue and the prevention efforts? Whose awareness needs to be increased? How would they get that information? There are many simple action steps that can be taken to increase community readiness. On your screen are a few of these ideas. As you can see on this list, there are many benefits from identifying the level of community readiness. I hope you keep this in mind as your coalition works through the capacity phase of the Strategic Prevention Framework process. Part of every step of the SPIF process are the concepts of cultural competence and sustainability. These two concepts should permeate each step and help guide you in all areas of the process. The sustainability and cultural competence of prevention outcomes are closely linked aspects of capacity building. Broad cultural representation is essential to sustaining long-term prevention efforts. The wider your base of support, the greater the likelihood of achieving and sustaining successful outcomes. As you approach your work as a coalition, it is essential to continually think about cultural competence on multiple levels, both in your community level interactions and within your coalition itself. And sustainability should be taken into consideration at every phase of your work. It is natural for a coalition's capacity needs to change as its work progresses, goals are accomplished, and the coalition shifts or expands its priorities. Therefore, it is important to continually evaluate your coalition's capacity about the work your coalition is currently doing now and intends to do in the future. A few questions to continually ask are, how smoothly is our coalition functioning internally? And how strong are our coalition's external connections with the community? Being aware and active will keep the capacity of your coalition strong. There are additional e-learning modules that can be viewed to support your continued efforts to implement the SPIF process. Links for these resources can be found on your screen. Additional resources and information can be found on the Kansas Prevention Collaborative website or DECA's website, which links you can see on your screen. Also, the links that I talked about for the toolkits are also seen on your screen. Thank you for your time and interest. If you have any questions, please contact your DECA Community Support Specialist who can provide technical assistance or training.